Welcome back to College 101. Today we're going to be talking about why you've been thinking about your grades the wrong way and how you can think about them to get better grades. I'm going to give you a scenario for two different students. The first student is a student who gets to their first test and they absolutely bomb it. They get a 40, a 50, and they throw their hands up in the air and they say, wow, this class is lost. I'm not going to be able to get a good grade. Maybe I'd better drop out of the class. Maybe I just give up on it. I don't know what to do. The second kind of student is someone who gets 100% on all their first few homework assignments. Maybe they get an A on their first test and they feel really good about themselves. They say, man, I get this class. I'm going to get an A in the class. Things start to slip. They get overconfident. And a month or two later, all of a sudden, they've got a C or a D or worse. And they'll say, I had an A. What happened? Or that student that gave up on it will say, man, what could I have done to save it? In both of those situations, changing how you think about grades will make you more successful and help you understand exactly what you have to do to get the grade you want the rest of the semester. I feel like in high school, for me at least, grades were very much so they are what they are. You know, if I'm doing fine right now, and then when I take a test or turn in a homework assignment, it goes up or down from there. And things weren't always super clear, and I wasn't very diligent about understanding how the grades were worked. In our last video, we talked about how to read a syllabus and a little bit about how you can read that grades breakdown to understand your class. Today, I want to use some numbers to show you how exactly you can do that to get great results. The correct way to think about grades is to think about building towards a final point total that you need. Let's say, for example, a class is out of 1,000 points. If you want to get an A, you need 900 out of 1,000 points. Or if you've got a plus-minus system, you need 930 out of 1,000 points. So just because you get an A on that first test or you ace your first 6 homework assignments, you've only got maybe 160 or 200 points towards the 900 that you need. You can't let your guard down. Having those good grades up front will make the rest of your semester easier, and you'll have a more margin for error, but in the end, you're still only part of the way there. To showcase these numbers, I built out an example grade breakdown for a class as follows. Let's say this hypothetical class is 20% homework, 5% quizzes, 15% each for 3 midterms for a total of 45%, and 30% for the final exam. That should add up to 100%, I think. So we're going to start with the ones that are most controllable, easiest to do, and will work towards that final exam, which you've only got one shot at it, so you want to have the most wiggle room there that you can. So we're going to start with the homework and the quiz points. I honestly believe that it's true that if you go to TA office hours, if you talk to your professor, if you work with a study group, and you put in the hours, you can be successful on homework assignments. So I'm going to assume you're going to get most of these. Sometimes things happen, so maybe there's an assignment or two you miss out on. Maybe there's a quiz that just really took you by surprise and you don't do well. But we're going to say of that 25%, or the 25 points out of 100, we'll say, you get 23 out of 25. So now if you're trying to get a B in this class, you only need 57 more points out of 75 points left for your midterms and your final exam. That means to get a B, you only need to get 76% of the rest of the points, whereas a B is an 80%, so see, you've set yourself up for success. So if you get a B on each of those midterms, 45%, and you get 80% of that 45 points, you get 36. Now you're at 59 out of the 80 points that you need to get a B in the class. So that means you need 21 more points, and the final is worth 30 points or 30%. So that means you need 21 out of 30, which is only a 70 on the final. You see how just by working hard up front and doing decent on your midterms, hitting your goals, you now have an extra 10% to work with on your final. Finals are stressful, they can be unpredictable, and like I said, you only get one shot at them. So the more room you have for error there, the better. Alright, break time. Why do mountains always get such good grades? Because they sometimes have steep curves. Because like there's signs talking about steep grades and curves. If you enjoyed this video so far, or that pun, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you really just want to keep letting me know that my puns are no good, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you can come back every single time and let me know. There are also a few common grading schemes that I want to bring up that will be useful for you to understand and be aware of for classes like this to be effective and get good grades. The first one is a lot of professors will let you drop or replace your worst homeworks, quizzes, or sometimes even tests. So let's say that in this hypothetical class, homework is 20% of your grade and there's going to be 23 homework assignments. Rather than have some weird percentages, the professor will say, I'll take your 20 best homeworks, I'll drop your worst 3. So if you get really busy and you just can't do a homework, you can leave it behind and that 0 will mean nothing to your grade. Other times they'll replace it, oftentimes with your final if it's for tests. So let's say you bombed the test, you got like a 40 on a test. Some professors will say, take your final, and if your final is higher than your worst test, we'll replace it. So if you were to get a 75 or an 80 on your final, it would replace that 40. So not only would you have a pretty good grade on your final, but you would raise a test average from earlier in the semester by 30 or 40 points. So understanding when grades are dropped or replaced can really give you a big boost. Another common grading scheme to watch out for is that some classes will let you rework homework or especially tests for additional points for half credit or quarter credit. So let's say that you had a test and again you got a 40 on that test, but this is a class that lets you rework your test for half credit. If you rework your test and get it all right, usually they let you rework it with a solution key or with friends even. If you do that, that 40 turns into a 70, which all of a sudden makes it much more manageable and less of an impact on your grade. The last thing I'll say is keep an eye out for bonus opportunities. It never hurts to get a few bonus points, especially early in the semester when you don't know exactly how things are going to lay out. You want to take these opportunities when you can. They might be as simple as 5 or 10 points towards your homework, but that can often be an extra 1% of your final grade. Remember, you're stacking up to the final amount of points that you need to get the grade you want, not trying to adjust your current average. Hopefully, thinking about grades this way is going to help you be more successful, be more deliberate, and not give up on classes after one bad test or one bad final. It will also help you stay motivated to keep working hard, even if things go really well for you at the beginning of the semester. Either way, I think this will be really valuable for you. Thanks for watching this episode of the College Guide. Let me know if you have any questions, let me know what keeps you motivated through the semester, and we'll see you next time.